welcome back to another episode of the Truest Crime. This week's case was a very interesting case, and the reason it was interesting is because it supposedly has a correlation to the O.J Simpson case that was involving Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman, as many people know. But yeah, that's a very interesting fact that I found out while researching this video. So I really hope that you guys will enjoy this video. So let's get right into the video. So sit down, grab a snack, and let's take a deep dive into the Truest Crime. So as said before, this case in particular had a correlation or supposed correlation with the O.J. Simpson case. And this young man went by the name of Brett Cantor, and he lived in Hollywood, California, and he was the co-owner of a nightclub in Hollywood. And this case took place in July of 1993, and it's just a very disturbing case. The details of his death are incredibly gruesome, so I will just put out a disclaimer. If you are uncomfortable with any kind of gore or it makes you squeamish, please skip over this next part and just go straight into the rest of the video on some of the information. So on July 30th of 1993, Brett Cantor would be found brutally murdered in his Hollywood home. And the description of his death is incredibly disturbing. It was said that he was stabbed over 20 times, so 20 times plus. And a description that I read in how they found Cantor's body, he was to near decapitation. And he also was given what is called a Colombian necktie, which I will not describe because the way that it was described when I read it was making me sick to my stomach. It was disgusting. But it's essentially tongue through the jaw. Yeah, I'm not going to go into details of it, but that's essentially what it is. And that is something that I could not even imagine a police officer going in there and seeing that horrible scene is just, that's unimaginable. And because there were no actual things to go off of about Brett before his murder, I'm only able to give the information that I have that's to the best of my knowledge. And again, like I said, his death was incredibly disturbing, and I again cannot imagine having had to have walked in on that scene and see him in that condition. That's just awful, and I would not wish that on my worst enemy, to see something like that. That would make anybody sick to their stomach, and it's understandable why that would be. Now, the correlation to the O.J. Simpson case that I talked about in the beginning of the video was that the same person may have committed all three murders. So the Nicole Brown Simpson, the Ron Goldman and the Brett Cantor cases. And as most people know, O.J. Simpson was acquitted of all charges because of the fact that the glove that they found in the house did not fit, and also because he fled in his Bronco. So, that unfortunately does not help Brett Cantor's case, because if that is true, that the same person committed all three crimes, it would have had to have been O.J. Simpson. But because he was acquitted and nobody else was arrested or charged with anything, the case is still ongoing. And that also goes for the Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman case. They are not going to have any justice either, because the person of interest in the case was acquitted. So, unfortunately, that's something that we're never going to really know any answers to, is who did this to this poor guy. I have some very strong thoughts and opinions on this case. The biggest one that I have is obviously with the correlation to the O.J. Simpson case, and I can understand why they would, correlate that, because all three murders were roughly the same, and whoever, committed these crimes obviously had a signature calling card, and it was highly disturbing. And I obviously, feel bad for all three people. I feel bad for Nicole Brown Simpson, I feel bad for Ron Goldman, I feel bad for Brett Cantor. I just cannot imagine what their last moments were like, and then having to endure that, very brutal death. That's awful. And again, like I said, I can't imagine the police walking up to the house. And the thing is that Brett was also found by the front door. So when the police officers walked in, they saw him right away. They found him right at the front door, and that's the condition that they found him in. And to me, I think that whoever did this went a little overboard with trying to harm Brett. I mean, to the near point of decapitation, and then on top of that, having your body mutilated even further after the initial attack. That's too much. And it's awful that this poor 25-year-old man had to endure that in his last moments. My opinions on this case, however, are that I don't think I agree with the correlation between the two cases, and the reason for that is because if the same person had committed all three crimes, then why were there no other suspects in the case other than O.J. Simpson? And because O.J. was acquitted, there were no other suspects. I can understand O.J. Simpson being guilty or being acquitted of the crime involving his wife and her lover, but the correlation between Brett Cantor and the O.J. Simpson case, that one doesn't make sense to me. And from what I understand, there was never anything that said that Nicole Brown Simpson nor Ron Goldman were found in that condition when that case was released. I didn't recall seeing anything like that. But I mean, they can correlate whatever they want, but that just doesn't make sense to me in terms of the two cases. As I said before, there are obviously no suspects in this case at all, and the case is still open and ongoing, and this is a case that is from 1993 and is over 20 plus years old. And I hope that, you know, there's eventually a break in this case and, you know, somebody is found guilty for what they did to this poor guy. Because Brett Cantor, not only was he the co-owner of a nightclub, but he also was very into music and was working with a record company, and he was also romantically involved with an actress. And Rose McGowan actually was who he was romantically linked to. So that was another interesting tidbit of information that I found out. And yeah, that's most of the information that I was able to find that, you know, gave me some sort of look into Brett's life before he passed. And this is where I'm going to end today's video. And again, I really hope that you guys enjoyed watching this video and you found this case just as interesting as I did. And if you want to know more about this case in particular and are interested in that correlation that I spoke about, definitely look it up and see if you can find more information about it. And I would love to hear what you guys find out. I'm sorry that I could not provide more information, but the information that I stated in this video is all of the information that I was able to find and knew to the best of my knowledge. If you guys haven't already, please don't forget to click the notification bell, as that will notify you every time I upload a new video. And I upload videos twice a week, a short on Monday and a full-length video on Saturdays. Alright you guys, thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, as it really helps me be able to make new videos for you guys. And with that, I will see you on another episode of The Truest Crime.